Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I want to talk to you today about a story that might seem small on the surface, but believe me, has big implications for the NFC East, and more specifically, for our beloved Philadelphia Eagles. It's about a player who, until recently, was making waves in Denver, but found himself out of favor, and now has a new home with the Eagles. That player is Audric Estime, a talented young running back out of Notre Dame, who's set to join Philadelphia's practice squad. But what's really interesting here isn't just his arrival, it's the story behind it, the lessons learned, and what it could mean for the Eagles' backfield as they gear up for another push toward that coveted Super Bowl title. Estime, a 21-year-old powerhouse, was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft. And if you look at his college career at Notre Dame, you see a player with raw talent, a bruiser who loves to run through defenders, and someone with a lot of potential. In his rookie season, Estime carried the ball 76 times for 310 yards and scored 2 touchdowns, averaging an impressive 4.1 yards per carry. That kind of production, especially from a 5th-round pick, is nothing to scoff at. But what's been making headlines recently isn't just his stats. It's his attitude and the issues that came with it. You see, the Denver coaching staff and insiders have been pretty open about Estime's reputation. He's been called out for pouting, especially when things don't go his way. And that's something that doesn't sit well in any NFL locker room, especially not with a team like the Eagles, who pride themselves on grit, teamwork, and a relentless drive to succeed. So, despite his talent, Estime's attitude, and the way he handled his role on the Broncos roster became a sticking point. And ultimately, that led to his release on August 25th. Now, imagine that. Just a few weeks ago, this young running back was on the verge of making an impact in Denver, and now he's looking for a fresh start in Philadelphia. The Eagles, always known for their keen eye for talent and their willingness to take chances on young players with upside, saw something in Estime. They're not just signing him as a backup or a practice squad guy for the sake of numbers. No, they're betting on his potential, on the idea that a change of scenery, a new environment, and perhaps a different coaching staff could bring out the best in him. And that's something Eagles fans should keep an eye on because, as we all know, the NFL is as much about attitude as it is about talent. Sometimes, a player's mental makeup can make or break his career, and the Eagles are experienced enough to recognize that. Now, let's talk a bit about the current state of the Eagles' backfield. Philadelphia has a solid core of running backs, with Saquon Barkley leading the charge, bringing his explosive power and game-changing ability to the offense. Will Shipley, the talented rookie, has shown flashes of brilliance, and veteran A.J. Dillon provides that veteran leadership and physicality in the trenches. These three form a formidable trio, and their presence already makes the Eagles' ground game one of the most dangerous in the league. But adding someone like Estime could bring a different element, another bruiser, a player who can wear down defenses and bring a physical edge when needed. What's interesting about Estime is that he's not just a power runner, he's also still very young and has room to develop. His college tape shows a player with a nose for the end zone, an ability to break tackles, and a relentless motor. He's the kind of back who, with the right guidance and discipline, could evolve into a key contributor for the Eagles down the line. And if his attitude improves, which is the big if, he might even push some of the more established backs in the rotation. That's the kind of competition that makes a team stronger, and that's exactly what the Eagles thrive on. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing for Estime. His time in Denver was marked by some turbulence, especially when he took umbrage with his position on the depth chart. That's something that former Broncos running back Philip Lindsay pointed out publicly, calling out Estime for pouting over his placement on the depth chart. Lindsay didn't shy away from saying that attitude issues have been a concern for Estime since his rookie season, and that kind of mindset can be a red flag for any team. In a league where mental toughness and team-first attitude are everything, that's something that Eagles coaches will definitely be watching closely. And then there was his performance in the preseason, which frankly was underwhelming. In the game against the Arizona Cardinals, Estime carried the ball 9 times for just 20 yards, averaging only 2 yards per carry. For a player who's supposed to be a powerful back, that's a bit of a red flag. It wasn't just about the numbers, it was about the impression he left. Some observers noted that Estime seemed to be going through the motions, not fully engaged, and perhaps still dealing with the mental aspects of adjusting to the league. That's why the Eagles' decision to bring him in now makes sense. They see the raw talent, but they also see an opportunity to help him grow, both as a player and as a person. Now, let's think about the bigger picture here. For the Eagles, adding a young player like Estime isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about adding a potential diamond in the rough who could develop into a key contributor. Philadelphia's coaching staff has a history of taking chances on players who might have some baggage or questions mark, but with the talent and work ethic, they can turn that potential into production. And with the Eagles' current roster, which is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball, a player like Estime could thrive in the right environment, learning from veterans and developing his game further. The division itself, the NFC East, is fiercely competitive, and every team is trying to improve and find that edge. The Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins, Commanders, are all making moves, but the Eagles have been at the forefront of the NFC East for a couple of seasons now, thanks to their solid roster, innovative coaching, and that relentless Eagles mentality. But every little move counts, and bringing in a young, talented back like Estime could be that extra piece that helps them stay ahead of the pack. Especially if he can turn his attitude around and focus on what truly matters: winning, teamwork, and playing with passion. As we look ahead to the season, it's clear that the Eagles are not resting on their laurels. They're always looking for ways to improve, to add depth, and to keep that competitive edge sharp. Estime's story is still being written, and it's up to him to prove that he's more than just a talent with attitude issues. With the right mindset and coaching, he could become a real weapon for Philly, especially in situations where a physical downhill runner is needed to wear down defenses and keep the chains moving. And let's not forget, the Eagles' running game is a crucial part of their identity. When that ground attack is firing on all cylinders, it opens up so many options for Jalen Hurts and the rest of the offense. But beyond just the X's and O's, this move also speaks to the overall culture of the Eagles. They're a team that values resilience, discipline, and mental toughness. They're not just looking for raw talent, they want players who can handle the pressure, who can learn from their mistakes, and who want to be part of something bigger than themselves. Estime, with his talent and the lessons he's learned about attitude, has the chance to embrace that culture and grow within it. And if he does, the Eagles might just have found another piece that can help them chase that elusive Super Bowl trophy once again. So, Eagles fans, keep your eyes on this story. It's not just about adding a young running back, it's about the potential for redemption, growth, and future success. This is a team that's always looking to improve, always pushing the boundaries, and always ready to seize opportunities. Estime's journey from Denver to Philadelphia might just be the beginning of a new chapter, one where he transforms from a talented but troubled young player into a key contributor for the Eagles' quest for greatness. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you believe Audric Estime can turn things around and become a key piece of the Eagles' puzzle? Or do you think his attitude issues are too much of a red flag? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles as a whole. Remember, this team is built on passion, resilience, and that unyielding Eagles spirit. And I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned because the NFL season is just around the corner, and the Eagles are ready to make some noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, fly, Eagles, fly.